guys, welcome to Cook to Nourish. Today I've brought for you these ripe plantains and I'm going to show you a very nice treat to make using these. I call it a treat although it doesn't have any other added sugars besides the ripe plantain, but it's really delicious and it's a healthy treat. And the way I like to eat this is, pair it with something like, with my main meal, and I just have it towards the end of the meal, whether it's breakfast. If I have a large, vegetable and a vegetable smoothie, mostly I add a lot of vegetables in my smoothie and, some fruits. So I have a large glass of that, and then I have a few of these plantain fritters, and it makes me feel really full. And it's so easy to make too. Now these are traditional southern Indian kind of snack, but where either rice flour or all-purpose flour is used, and I'm going to show you how to make it using cassava flour. And although in the traditional preparation some sugar is always added, I honestly don't know why, because these taste great without any added sugars. And I wanted to show you about how you go about selecting the plantain though. Now see how these plantains are, they all have black, some kind of black marks. So your plantains should be like that. Now this one, and whenever you select ripe plantains or yellow plantains to cook, always make sure that when you touch them that it's a little bit like soft, not like mushy. So do not get plantains that are like really mushy, because they're gone bad, and that will not work for either for this recipe or for other things. It's like really bad. But get something that's firm to the touch, but it has a lot of yellow marks, but it's firm. And then you keep them also at room temperature in your home for a couple days, and before it turns like this. So this is like the really ideal plantain to use for our purpose here of making plantain fritters. Alright, so let's get started.
Alright, so we start by first cutting the plantains. So cut it into half like this, and then to peel, what I find it easier is to kind of just try to first get a peel out like you would a banana, and then just kind of peel it from around it, so then it comes off easily, as you can see, like this. Okay. And then how I like to cut it is to cut it all the way vertically, and then again one more time, so then that way you end up getting like this about half-inch thick slices. So be careful with your hands when you do that. So you get about you get 8 slices this way from each plantain. You could also further cut each slice into half, so then that way you'll get 16 smaller pieces. Sometimes I do that way too, so it's up to you, but thin slice like this, about half-inch thick, that's important. The length is not important. Okay, so now here I am taking 1/4 cup of cassava flour. To that I'm adding about 1/8 of a teaspoon of sea salt, and about the same, like an 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric. You can skip this if you want, but I just like that color that it gives it, and I think it gives a slight flavor too, so I kind of like that. And then I'm adding initially 1/4 cup of water to begin with, and I'm just going to stir this with a fork, just so that there are no lumps. That way it's easier than if you add all the water in. And we are going to add another 1/4 cup of water. So now there are no lumps, and I'm going to add the rest of the water here. About 1/4, I'd say. I don't really add all the 1/4, little less than 1/4 I think is good enough. And as you can see, it's like really very watery at this point. It looks like really like a slurry, very watery. But as you start making the fritters, and once it stands for a couple minutes, it's going to turn a little thicker. So that's why I like to use this much water to begin with, because anyways, otherwise later on I'll have to add a little bit. So now, so this is the consistency, and it is, as I said, upon 2-3 minutes it's going to further thicken. So this is a good consistency. And now you add the pieces in it, and we're going to dip it and fry it, shallow fry it. So my stainless steel pan, this is my favorite to do a lot of things, as you probably know by now. And but you could also use non-stick frying pan, uh, but I feel like this works perfectly. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and as you can see, it's not a lot. You just have like a little layer, so it's not like deep frying. And then, but because these slices are thin, and that's why it's key, how you slice them so that they cook perfectly. So because they're thin, these are thin enough, they are going to really cook well even in this much oil. So I'm just slowly dipping it in to make sure both the sides are coated with the batter, and just drop them in slowly. Now see how I think 3, 4, 5, and now 6. That's about it. It's if you put too much in your pan, then it's going to be hard to turn them. So now these have been cooking for 2 minutes, and carefully turn them. See, now some of these, as you can see, they kind of stick to each other, which is okay. It's just like the batter, spreading around and sticking to each other, which is fine. But as you can see, it's like turned golden brown. So that's the time when you flip it, and it should come off easily too, because you have the oil. And now again, cook for another couple more minutes, again on, medium flame, like about low to medium. It's about 6, I think, gas. So it's not very high or anything. So that allows the plantains to be cooked completely. And there you go. Your fritters are ready. These taste, see, like this is the kind of color that's best, but you could do it a little less than this as well. These are perfect. These are a perfect snack any time of the day, and they're absolutely delicious. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and also visit cooktonourish.com for more recipes.